Welcome to another Wellbeing video. Today we want to look at worry. Lots of parents have been asking us to look at anxiety, so we thought worry was a really good place to start, as it's often the precursor to anxiety. And then we'll deal with anxiety in a future video. So Belinda, what is a worry?
So a worry is a concern or a fear, a thought in your head that becomes a feeling, and therefore it becomes much bigger because you've got the thing that you're thinking about in your head, and you've quite often alongside that got those physical bodily responses, which can be really quite frightening for children.
Yeah, it's a big emotion. Now often as parents we're looking for the big solution or the one strategy that's going to fix everything, and there isn't one strategy, but there are some guided principles that we want to share with you. So where can worries come from?
So I think we always try and find logic in everything that we think, and actually worries can come from anywhere. Worries, you can be a child walking down the road and you can hear a conversation going on between two other people, and you hear it and you can pick up a worry from that. You can watch something on television, and I see my own children, they sit watching things on television and you think, yeah, they look fine, and then 3 days later something comes out, and when you work backwards you discover that actually it came back from that one program. So we need to be really thoughtful about where worries are coming from. It's not necessarily something that you can immediately pinpoint.
That's something I can relate to. I told you a story earlier that when I went to America when I was younger, just before I saw a documentary where a snake came out the toilet. The whole time I was in America I was then worried a snake was going to come out the toilet. But we needed to work through that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really important.
And I think when you're talking to your child about worries, it's really important for them to try and learn to categorise what sort of worry it is. I take on all sorts of worries, most of which got absolutely nothing to do with me. But you need to be able to help them understand, well, yes, this is your worry. This is your worry. You're worried that you weren't very kind to your friend yesterday in school. That is your worry, and we need to find a way to deal with that. But then there are other worries, worrying that you're going to be late for school, worrying about whether your grandma is very well or not. Those are worries that somebody else, that's a grown-up's worry to have and a grown-up's worry to look after. And then there are the really big ones that none of us can deal with. And hopefully by doing that initially, you can help them reduce things and say, these are yours, these are the ones that you need to think about. And that a lot of that is about finding the right time and the right space to do it. So how do you manage?
Yeah, so I think it's really important. You've got to do more listening than speaking. I think that's really important. You need to be solution focused. So you need to help them scaffold and get over that worry. And one of those great phrases is, logic is your friend. The last time you did this, what was the outcome? And you use logic to reduce the worry. And I think that's really important. In that nice supportive environment that you're creating, where it's calm and ready to have that discussion, make sure you don't minimize the worry. Often as parents, I want to go, I've done this and I've done that, and oh no, it's not going to happen. But these are real feelings that these children are having. So make sure you validate them. Yeah. When those worries happen, it's important that you have worry time. It can't take over your whole life. So, and you recommended 15 minutes before tea, and then you have a redirection activity afterwards. If you try and broach their worries at bedtime, it can run away. And often we have parents coming and saying, oh, we spent an hour talking about their worries last night. That's not the best time. At that point, you need to redirect, get them involved in something else, and then hopefully broach it at the right time.
And you need to think, what's healthy for them. Yes, this is a worry. Yes, we're absolutely validating it, even if we don't understand it at all. I'm frightened of butterflies. It's weird. I can't justify it in any way, but they terrify me. So anybody who treats me with they're nothing, that's not going to be remotely helpful. It's very much about, okay, this is a concern for you. What are we going to do about it? When you're starting a new swimming class and you're anxious, remember when you started football, you were anxious, but you got over it. Try and use that logic. And I think we have to be really careful not to pull children away from their worries. If someone is worried about starting a new swimming class, not taking them to the swimming class is the absolutely worst thing you can do, because you're basically telling the child you're right to worry about this. Whereas what you want to do is get them to try and go through with it. Role play with them beforehand if that's going to be helpful. And then you want to look at all the different ways, once you've had your 15 minutes of talking, that you're then going to distract. Whether that is, well, we're going to immediately sit down and have supper and everybody's chatting anyway, or there's that television programme that you like, you can have 15 minutes of that. Go and jump on a trampoline. You can't worry on a trampoline. Do some dancing, do some singing, read a book, listen to some music. We all have different ways. And one of the most valuable things I think you can do as a parent is work with your child to understand what helps them to distract from things that feel as if they're too big to manage.
So we've now gone through some strategies, creating the right environment. And if the child is struggling to get that for themselves or understand what the worries are, there's some great books that we can use.
Fabulous books. And there are literally so many. I've got shelves full of them. This is a really nice one. All these Usborne books are absolutely brilliant. Really good for younger children. It's really nice because you can sit and read it through with them. They don't have to immediately apply it to themselves. They don't even have to admit that they're worried about something. But it has really, really good strategies for how to deal with them. So lovely books.
I'm going to put the links in the comment below this video.
Absolutely. I'll come to that one last. We have got the Worrysaurus.
I love Worrysaurus. It's one of my favourites.
Monster, absolutely fabulous. Ruby's Worry. This chap Tom Percival, he has written really good books on lots and lots of subjects for children. And one of my favourites, Huge Bag of Worries, a very, very old book about a little girl whose worries are in a huge bag that she drags around with her, and a lady who helps her to get rid of them. So that's really useful. And if you have an older child, I would say years 5 or 6, this is a fabulous book. This is What to Do When You Worry Too Much. It's a really good methodical book to work through. It needs to be a child who's very thoughtful. It needs to be a child who actively wants to work to make something go away. But I've had really, really great success with this, so I would thoroughly recommend that. And we'll pop the links for all of those on the
comments. So I hope that was useful. And if you want any further help, look at the comments, try and use them, and we'll see you next time for our anxiety video.
Another light topic.
Brilliant. Thank you. Bye.